right? From
Yes. Yeah, or iPad. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, we are live. We're getting get a little tiny glimpse behind the scenes there as we start live. I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite things that we do here at Hollywood Gatekeepers, Screenreaders / Extravaganza, is interviewing our beautiful, lovely ladies that we have here today. Happens to be Girls Day today. And we are interviewing our screenreaders that have been through our programs, and they have so much to share. And I'm going to introduce each of them, and then we're going to talk to each person one-on-one. You're going to learn so much. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. This is my favorite thing ever. So I'm Carolyn J Carpenter, for those of you who don't know, one of the founders of Hollywood Gatekeepers. Okay, I want to make sure I can see your comments here. And we train people how to be expert readers for the film industry. So we train people how to read and analyze screenplays. And then those people, as you will discover here today, they go out in the world and they help people. I always look at reading as a job of service. We are there to service writers, producers, really like be there for people trying to get their script to the screen. What can we do to help them in whatever way? And you'll see people help people in very different ways. And you're going to see that today. So I'm really excited about this. And so today I'll be speaking with Ms. Heather Roma. She's got some really cool things that have been going on. And so she's going to share all of that. And Donna Paulo. And Donna and Heather kind of went through the program at the same time, which is kind of fun, just quinkadinkly. So we'll be having a chat. And then Lenore, who's our baby of the group, Lenore Lemon, who just is graduating like right now. She just finished her sample coverages that we do in the course, and she's going to be heading out in the world. So that'll be really fun to kind of see. I don't even know like what she's up to, so I'm really excited to find out. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring Heather with me, and we'll have a discussion here about what's going on. Ms. Heather, how are you?
Hello. I'm great. I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. You know what?
A long time.
Come over and do my background. I was just thinking I need a better background, and that's a super cool. Like you got it going on.
If you think I did this, you got another thing coming.
You had a little help.
Yes, I have a live-in texpert.
That's nice. Nice.
He's responsible for that.
He's been a big part of all of it. Like your original story that used to say of him going, "Hey, honey, look at this."
Yeah, he's the one who found the program.
Yeah. So tell us, speaking of that, tell us, how did you find us and kind of what your experience was in the program?
Yeah. Well, he and I, back in the day, we did some short films and quickly realized that in order to have a quality project, it was really helpful if you had a quality script to start with to keep it from being crap. So, I felt that I had some natural kind of raw ability in the writing arena, but I wanted to take it up a notch. So we were just kind of in that place, and I was needing to figure out something else to do with my daughter getting like in preschool age and going to preschool and stuff. And so, my husband, Brian, just came across the program, and he was like, "What about this? This sounds amazing." So that's how I got in the door.
So great. And so tell us a little, what was your biggest surprise when you came into Screenreaders? Like what's something that you weren't expecting?
I think I expected to just approach it like a college online course where everybody's just like heads down doing their own, just doing it to get through it. And I was just ready to absorb the content and move on. But it was just like this great community of people, and we had fun chatting and like getting to know each other. And so that was really fun outcome.
That's been, it sounds funny because we get that a lot where people that come through the program, that's kind of one of the surprises, is that they weren't expecting to have this sort of family feel that we have in here. And honestly, we're surprised too. Like I knew that we wanted to do this. I didn't know what it was going to look like. We knew that people need readers and they need qualified readers. And so we were really passionate, Doug Shaner and I, about creating a course that could really like show you not just, yes, analyzing screenplay. Absolutely. That's our main focus. But there's so much more to it than that, and what you can do with that, as you well know, like what can you do with that? And then, how do you go through obstacles like, challenging things like imposter syndrome or all these things that we never talk about when we talk about reading and writing screenplays. We don't talk about that stuff. We just talk about, what's the format, what's the font, how many acts and all of that. So it's like to try and do both. But then you guys came in and it was like, it was like meeting you and like feeling this kind of just people being so excited and so eager. And this Facebook group was actually, for those of you watching us on Facebook, I know some people are on our YouTube channel. The Facebook group was the first thing we tried just to see. We're like, I don't know if anybody would be interested in this. And right away, it was like thousands of people were like, I want to know what's going on. And we were like, okay, this is super fun. And it's just been so much fun. Like, I can't even, it's just such a blessing. So like meeting you and then watching you. And so now tell us, like, what are you doing with it? Because this is so cool. And I absolutely love it. And I'm totally always like sharing, check this out, because it's super cool. So share with us what you're doing with your knowledge of screenwriting.
Yeah. So I finished in like the very end of 2018. Like I think my certificate came in the mail like right in the beginning of 2019.
Nice.
So apparently now you have to go back into the archives to find my stuff, which makes me feel ancient. But but yeah, like I was ready to start a business at that time. I was just like that. I was just at that place in my life where I was going to start a business. And having gone through the program, I was like, maybe I could be a reader. And so I started reading while I was kind of trying to think about building a clientele and stuff. I was reading for Austin, and then I became a reader for Coverfly. And I quickly realized that as much as I really enjoy reading screenplays and doing coverages, it's a lot if you're doing it full time. It's a lot of reading and writing. So as much as I enjoy it, I was like, I don't know if I can do this full time. And so I was exploring other options and meeting with a business coach. And she, in one of our meetings, came across some information about storytelling in business. And so I that like lit a fire in me, and I started doing a whole bunch of research to see what was out there regarding storytelling in business, because I was starting a business and I was like, sure, there were people starting businesses too, like me, And so as soon as I started researching, I was like, I could totally translate this, like a story structure, like a cinematic 3-act structures, structure to branding and building your brand and writing your brand story. And so that's what I did. I kind of came up with my own unique way to talk about it and to structure it so that people can understand who have no idea what story structure is or 3-act structure, anything like that. So yeah, now I teach workshops and kind of guide people through this 3-act structure of how to tell their story, how to brand their business, and then do the design part of it based on your story, so that it creates engagement and interest and really targets in on the exact like clientele that you're looking for.
Well, and you've become such an expert at that, of finding the clientele that you want. It's something that we talk about. We do well, and now I don't even know if you know this, because we keep referring to you in the archives. But we've added actually a test that you can take within the course that talks about are you more prone to reading for producers or reading for writers. So you can take a quiz. So we've added, and we've always had some personality quizzes and some tracking your time, because it depends on how much time things take you. So and you're such a perfect example of taking what you've learned and then running with it in a whole different way. I just think it's so exciting. And there's just so many things that you can do. And we've also added a few quizzes about what kind of artist are you? Are you an entrepreneur? And that kind of helps people decide, you're clearly an entrepreneur. You have an entrepreneurial, mindset, and so you're like, you ran with it, started your own business, did that, and you're just jamming. And it's so fun to watch. And so, we want to guide people into figuring out what their deal is. And some people love just, I read, and that you're right. It can be, you're reading and writing a lot. And you can get some rhythm to it that then makes it not quite so cumbersome. But I loved it. That was what I wanted. That was where I was at for a while. And then pretty soon I started branching more into consulting, and then I started working for, I just love the writers so much that it started me down a path of consulting and wanting to work one-on-one with writers. And so that kind of, but I loved the studio vibe and I loved all of that. So it was like, I just hung in there for a while, but I totally know what you mean in terms of like, wow, this is a lot of reading and a lot of writing. And so it is interesting, because I'm not sure that people really get that at first. But then once you realize the power you have in the knowledge that you have of being able to analyze story. what's been your favorite part about having your own business? What do you think?
I mean, there's the practical thing of like just having it at home and being able to raise my daughter and be, you know, have family like right here and stuff, which can be both good and like, shh, keep it down. I'm gonna call. You know, it's both of those things, but it's awesome just to be able. Exactly.
Totally.
But yeah, so there's like the practical sense of that. But I mean, just I guess I didn't realize like how fun it was going to be to work with clients and just like see the light bulbs come on when I start talking about, because they're all movie fans, but they never heard somebody really say what a hero's journey is, or, you know, break down like why it is that we like movies or why we follow them, and explain what the structure does for us in that familiarity as we're watching a movie. We don't know it's there, but like we feel it, you know, and that's why we like movies, because they follow a structure. And like to see the light bulbs come on and have them go, oh wow, and they're like, I could brand my business this way and create that same engagement.
Life. Yeah,
exactly. That's been really fun.
So cool. So people can find you at turningscenes.com, and you have a course that, or you have a
I teach workshops. So right now, the best value is to do the package. So first we write your brand story. That's 2 sessions. And then the second 2 sessions, we design a brand based on your story. So it's the visual component, starting with mood boarding, building a style guide, and, you know, plugging that all into your brand so you can make designs. And I always encourage my clients to use Canva because it's amazing. And yeah, and really easy to use and really easy to plug your brand right into Canva, and really have that consistency, you know, brand recognition that you're trying to get when you're first starting out.
So I love this. So it sounds like you're helping people walk through the story of what their brand is, but then you're also showing them how to fish. Like you're showing them how to do it. So they're not relying on you for the rest of their life in order to make it happen.
Right.
Really smart. Yeah, that's really, really smart. And it is interesting how, you know, for those of you that want to be readers, we also have our own story in terms of what kind of reader you want to be, or what do you want to do with that? Or do you want to work with producers? Do you want to work with writers? What's it going to be? And how do you want to present yourself? And so knowing your own story within that, what you bring to it. Like we always talk, like Heather has a film background, whatever background you already have can then be applied to your screen reader knowledge. And so there's so many people doing so many weird, random things that have to do with both things that they do, you know, all kinds of coaching in different areas. Yeah. So for those of you that do something that might be a little bit offshoot, or you have some business you're trying to do, like definitely follow Heather, go to turningscenes.com. She's also super active on social media, so definitely check her out. Right.
And just as a quick plug, I just launched my YouTube channel. So if you're interested in any kind of branding with story content or Canva content, that's what my YouTube channel is all about. So you can get there from my website.
Oh, cool. We'll add
brand new.
Favorite channels. It's got to be a Hollywood Gatekeeper favorite channel. So we'll add to our favorite channels for sure. And so for those of you that are new to that, I know I saw someone say, is this, we do save this within the group. For those of you that are brand new, I just like, everyone here can attest. I was like, there's people waiting to get in. I need to let them in. So we let a bunch of people into the Facebook group. So if your brand's making new, welcome. We're super happy to have you here. And this does live here, and it also lives on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it again. And then we'll be sharing Heather's YouTube channel for sure. And we do these the first Monday of every month. So, and we, sometimes I do trainings and sometimes I interview, but we've done a couple now interviews of screen readers, and this has been really cool. So I think we're just going to continue to do that. So definitely keep that first Monday of every month reserved for us and we'll be here for you. So yeah, awesome. Cool, Sabrina. So I see your comments. You guys are like, thanks, Anae. So Anae put Turning Scenes into the chat there, so you guys can check that out. So definitely check out what she's got going on. I think I'm so proud of you, Heather. It's always so much fun to talk to you, and I always just love what you have going on. I'm always trying to share anything I see it come across. I'm always like,
I appreciate it so much.
So we'll definitely continue to do that, and keep us posted on things that you have. Just, you know, let us know when you have whatever workshops happening. We're happy to help promote that, because and that's one of the things that we do for people in our membership, is that we promote the things that you're doing, and we'll just, our graduates, we love our graduates. We'll continue to promote you.
I mean, that's so much so much of what this is in business, is just, you know, word of mouth promotion. So really I appreciate it so much.
Yeah, so much. Thank you so much for coming on today. It's
Absolutely.
So much fun. Stick around, because we're all going to come back to say goodbye together. So we're going to have Donna come on, and then stick around and let me bring Miss Donna. Hey there, Donna. Let me take
Hi.
How are you, my dear?
I'm good. And you?
I'm good. So we don't get to see each other except on these, it seems like.
Right.
But it's great. So Donna and Heather we just discovered, went through this program kind of at the same time. We had this initial group. You guys were in kind of this initial group, I think, that will always be so near to my heart because with our grandfathered into everything. Because when we first started, it was like, we didn't know what this was going to be. So we said, we might completely change the course. We might do all kinds of things. So you guys that are taking the shot and a chance with us right in the beginning, you're just going to be with us on this ride. And so it's so fun when I see the graduates like Heather and Donna, because you're literally grandfathered in.
Yay.
Terrible turn.
Thank goodness.
So we'll be all old school together. So tell me a little bit about when you joined and what happened.
Well, let's see. I have a writer's background. I wrote a children's book and I wrote for a local newspaper and that kind of stuff. But my love is movies. And so when I saw the Instagram ad, I was like, this sounds interesting. But then, Instagram, you think, oh, I wonder if this is some kind of
it's for real
thing. Yeah. So I just went, well, I'm going to go for it. So,
awesome.
So I did. And I didn't know what to expect, really. So it just kind of snowballed into this great friendship with all these people who love to do the same thing I do. Yeah. And I mean, I can watch movies all day long.
Right. And then movie night is really fun too, because we all get together and watch movies, and that's fun. And we kind of critique them together. And we're just about to pick our next one for horror film.
And to learn about, the scripts and what goes into writing them and, what everything entails, that was fascinating to me. So, I just loved it.
Yeah. And you were really active too. And you were really, both Heather and Donna had their hands up immediately, which is something that I kind of, we call it like speed of implementation. It's what I learned from my coach, Evan Pagan. And that's that idea that you just get in there and you throw your hat over the fence and then you have to go climb over to get it. And so that idea that you just kind of dive in, and you were super active right from the beginning. And I have certain people that have gone through the program like you, that I know and feel like I know who you are. I know, I kind of know what's going on. I feel very connected to a certain echelon. And anytime anyone, who's listening to this, if you're taking any kind of course in anything, that's something that you want to do, one of the easiest ways to kind of make it happen is just be the best student. Be in there and work really hard and get yourself noticed. And when you get yourself noticed, that will help spiral all kinds of different things. You'll meet other people. You guys have formed some really interesting friendships and just some relationships. We have people, Ed and Paula are getting married. We have people that have met in the program and are getting married.
Whoa.
Yeah, right? Really fun, really fun. And so it's just, I love that if it's that kind of safe space for one thing. And then, it's just really fun. So I'm going to put your email up that you have for me. Here we go. There you go. So tell us a little about what are you doing now? What are you doing with your skills?
Well, I'm still with competitions and film festivals right now. And let's see, Nantucket starts up pretty soon again in November. So I've been with them for years, like 5 years. And then I started with Austin Film Festival. And then I just thought, boy, what other how could I find the film festivals? Because they're shorter. You don't have to be so intense, script.
Exactly.
Get a huge headache.
You did Newport for a little while too, right?
Yeah, I did Newport.
That's a great
and then I screened films for them too. Screen films for Newport and Nantucket. And then I worked for Coverfly for a while, Wild Sound, which is in Canada. It's in Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Donna also reads for a really big competition, but we decided not to mention it because we're not following, so we always want to make sure that we're following the rules. So it's a secret, but it's a biggie.
Yeah.
So it is and we do have some people that read for some bigger people that are managing really big movie stars, and so you have to be, as a reader, you need to be very discreet about where you're reading, which makes sense because they always want anyone that has, you're reading for a lot of festivals and contests. Any of these contests, they really want people to respect their contests and people to know that they're not no one can be influenced in terms of picking someone. And with social media, sometimes it can be a little dicey. So we totally respect and understand why they don't want people to know, because they don't want people being like on social media, hey buddy.
Right.
Donna, what kind of cookies do you like? Can you move my script along? Yeah. So
but now I'd like to just kind of switch over to, now that I've got so much experience, I'd like to switch over to reading for producers or production companies or agents. And
one of the great things about festivals, and if I remember right, you were really crafty in the way that you found your festivals. And right? Yeah. So she was super. I'm actually not going to reveal it because it's kind of her thing. This could be something you could teach as well. But she was really crafty in how she found where she wanted to read, and so that's kind of up to you. Like, I think I don't want to share it because that's your thing, and so I don't.
It's fine.
But and I really love that you did that. And it's kind of that same craftiness when you move into working with producers. So one of the things that she did is she just realized what festivals she could read at. Now you read for a lot of different festivals and contests. But when you do that, there's a lot of that. So you're reading on one level as a reader, and then there's usually the finals or whatever as people move forward in the contest, and you can read at that level too. And then there's the final levels. And a lot of times producers will be the final judges. And those producers that are being those final judges have already shown that they're out in the world, they're volunteering their time usually, or they're not getting paid a lot to do that because that's not their deal. They're not readers, they're being final judges. And so, but one of the things is they're looking for projects. So that's one of the reasons they do it, because they want to read screenplays and see what they can find. But they also, typically those people that do those kinds of things at festivals are just a little more giving or philanthropic, if you will. They're more about, they really want to help people. They see their job as a producer, but also sort of a job of service. They want to let people know they want to teach, or they want to tell people how to do, how to move forward in their careers. They're usually pretty open to being guests, being like just more open. And those are the people that you can read for, like you could reach out to start with reading, because you already have the thing in common that you've read for a certain festival. So that's a really good place to start for you, especially with with producers that have read. Just go look at the websites and the places you're reading, and to reach out and say, hey, I'm a reader too at this particular thing. Thank them for being a judge, because those festivals survive on those people that are willing to do that. So being very, very thankful to them about their position there, and that you're, super impressed with what they're doing, and that you're in the kind of the same thing. Like that's what you want to do too. But you're also a reader if they ever need readers. I read for here. Here's my sample coverage. If you ever need readers, I'm your gal. Kind of just very casual of like, this is who I am. We have this in common, and I'm absolutely, dedicated to this profession. And so, and then you have your samples, and your samples are fantastic. I know, because I read them. So you can just, So I would kind of a place to start. So I always want these sessions to be telling people what you guys are doing, giving opportunities like we do with Heather for people to work with you, or like we have Donna's email up there. If you're a writer and would like her to take a look at your screenplay, you can email her there, and she'll tell you what her prices are, and you can see, if it's a good fit. And so when you are looking for a reader to read your screenplay, or when you're looking to read someone's screenplay, you also want it to be a good fit. You want to make sure that, if you hate horror and they have a horror script, maybe not, but, want to making sure you have that connection or whatever. And so just kind of moving on from there. And so I want these sessions to be kind of about what you guys are doing, but also as people watch this, thinking about maybe they want to be a reader, how do you maneuver and what do you do, and some little trainings. And then I want it to be valuable for you, to give you at least some like a little bit of coaching of what you might do next. So I really think that would be a good move for you. And you're so personable and like,
oh, thanks.
This, so,
so
yeah, definitely. So what are your favorite things to read? What would you say?
Not science fiction.
I should say that the other way, right? What are things you don't like to read? That's much easier for sure. Yeah. That's usually most readers like
else.
That's usually, I was about to say, you said anything but. Yeah, that's so cute. That's usually the answer. Anything but this. Most readers just love movies and want to read. But there are certain genres you're like, and I have that science fiction. It's interesting. I like to watch science fiction, but I'm not a great reader for that either.
People get really, really intense and micromanage. It's like, what?
And it's also like, I don't think I'm smart enough for this script.
No. Exactly. It's like,
I think I'm missing so, and I've had times where I've gone like, okay, I'm passing on this, but I think you should get another reader to take a look at this because I might be missing something, just to be sure that, and I think it's really good. Know thyself is the very first thing you teach when we're talking about going out to get a job. Is first you have to know yourself before you can go out and look for a job. It's so very important. That's why we have all our personality tests. Like we go a little bit overboard with it, but I really I'm very passionate about that, because if you go in there and you're like, I can read everything, and then you get something that you just don't understand because it's not your genre, or you don't know, you've never seen a Lord of the Rings movie. Whatever. So fantasy is another one that sometimes people will be like, shoot, if you don't have a love for that genre, it can be a lot harder. Now, that said, structure. You can do some basic stuff for sure, but we want you to be reading, when you're reading screenplays, you want to be all in.
Yeah, because when you get one that you just love, it's like the best feeling ever. It's like,
when you're inspired, and really, really, really fun. So if you don't have a sci-fi script, send it to Donna. So we've got Sabrina in the comments. I love sci-fi. See, and this is why it's so great. So you can get your reader certificate, and then now you will send your sci-fi scripts to read. Perfect. Sabrina. So you guys can, and then we do work together that way. Definitely as we know each other, we'll be like, well, I can't do that, but like we all know that Emily does science in her like that. She's such a great, because it's such a good niche. Like she's a scientist. She has a scientific background. So, and she was on our last session that we did, and she does. She helps you with the science in your screenplay. So now we all know that. And we're like, well, send it over to, if you have that script, we all know that one goes to Emily. We all know that Mickey is the horror guy, right? So we know that about each other in the group. Yeah. So it's really, really fun, like, to know that. And I love that you're so open with it too. So good. So I can't see who's saying this. I'm sorry. Sometimes if it says Facebook user to me, I don't know who this is. I like scary movies, but I can't read it or script read it. I'd be too freaked out. It is. I have to say there are times, and I guess it has to do with your own imagination, right? Because you're sparking your own imagination as opposed to a movie where someone is telling you what it is. Right. And there are times when reading a screenplay, a horror film or whatever, is just really, really scary, but more scary in some ways than watching it, for sure. Yeah. Depending on how active your imagination is. So it's always so lovely to talk to you. And then so people can just email you there if they're interested in getting some coverage. Absolutely. Awesome. Yes. Yeah. So email Donna. Her coverage is spectacular. She's got a lot of experience, and she can really help you out if you are someone who has a screenplay that wants it covered. She's your gal. Go ahead and talk to her. So stick around. Thank you so much again for coming. It's such a treat to talk to you. So stick around, and I'm going to bring on our newbie here. So there you are, my dear. Hello.
Hi, thanks, Carolyn.
So lovely to have you here. So for those of you that are watching and are new, she just finished her coverages. And so when we go through our Screenreader program, you write 2 coverages. And then the team looks at them and kind of gives some feedback. Although I don't know that I think they just said, no, you're good. I think with you. And then they say to me, so-and-so is ready, and you can look at their coverages. And then I look at the coverages and I do like a video review. I mean, she literally got her video review like 3 days ago.
Right.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. This is really short notice, but we're doing this on Monday. And she's like, I'm in.
Great. Yeah.
You were going to do really well. So tell us when did you join, and how did you join, and like what's
well, first I'm from Canada, so I'm from the West Coast and from a small town on an island. So I joined in April, and I was this close to signing up to be a proofreading person, like an online person, but I didn't really want to do it. But as soon as I started to search that's when your ad.
Yay, it worked.
So it was like a little gold mine for me, really. I signed up right away, and then I panicked a little bit because I realized I had signed up for summer courses for college, just thinking, time, because I'm trying to get a psychology degree, but that's part-time. Yeah.
Oh, that's going to help you too.
I thought, thanks. I hope so. Yeah. So I was so glad you had the flexibility of no deadlines. You start when you want to start. I thought, oh, great. And so I was able just to go into it in August and kind of use my August break as I did hours of the course every day. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was fun. It wasn't like work. So all of my free time, went to doing that. And I tell you, it was fun. I mean, the live sessions combined with the videos, and you do the handouts. You make it so easy. You take the notes and you do the work. But I should say, one thing that was really helpful was, you get through the 5 coverages of the movies,
Yeah.
Then you get through your exams, and I reviewed all the videos again. I had to, and I said, Cherie, I've got questions, but then I realized watching your coverage of how you did it, you split the screen and then showed it. That was really, really helpful.
Oh, good. I'm about to do that again.
And you even said something like, don't edit yourself. Just if you've got your lessons done, you've done the exams, it's time for coverage, just do it. And you guys will do the pulling back or telling us where to go forward.
Yes.
And so, if anybody's hesitant about handing that I wrote 4 pages of
did you?
First coverage. It was ridiculous how long I went on. And then I had to spend hours cutting that back. And I thought I should have just done what I thought I should do, knowing what I learned.
Yeah.
That would have been easier, but
but you get there in the way that you get there. It's so great to hear back because we don't, we are always, believe me, Cherie's here and Joy and Anae, these are all our team members, and we are always talking about how can we do this easier, better, faster, because we want to be a springboard from people that want to learn this and then out into the world. We don't want to be a skid mark. We don't want to be like an obstacle of people that, I'm going to learn this and then, so we're trying really hard to make it pretty simple, but that's such good advice in terms of just diving in there, and just doing it. Like, you just have to do it. And I know that there is people do slow down when they come to where they have to turn their coverages in. We see people smoking through the course, and then they get scared and they don't want it. So we're trying to make that as loving and as it's all good. Like, it's all fine. Don't worry. Turn in your coverage, because that's the only way we know how you're doing. And so I love, and you did and what I said earlier about you want, if you guys are anyone who's taking a course in anything and you want to be noticed or you want to get your career started, be a good student. We noticed you right away. I mean, we use Slack as a team, and we're like, who's Lenore? Because she is jamming through, because we're watching everyone to see, she is jamming through the homework, and she is posting it and it's great, and and I'm seeing in the comments, Lenore rocked the homework and her coverages were smoking. She smoked through the course and she nailed the coverage.
Oh, it's so
and she
nice.
visited oldies in the archives. So good. The veterans. So right before she came on, she shared that she had went through all, she had seen Heather and Donna, because she went through, we give you access to all of the sessions we've done in the past, which you can binge watch if you want. Good luck, because there's a lot in there, and she did. And I mean, good on you. You're just diving in. You're such a good example of what you can do with this. You can just dive in and do it. And I love that.
Yeah. No,
so where do you want to go with this? What do you think?
Well, because I'm new,
World's yours.
I like the idea of how Donna went about it. I've got my track list ready, so as soon as my package is together, I'm working on that right now. And I'm gonna do the email introductory sendouts, and I really like to just get the reading down. If I can get volunteering this fall anywhere, I'm
absolutely
thrilled. And then
a no-brainer.
When some of the experienced readers talk about getting jobs at screeners for movie contests and think, that just sounds so fun. And anything that I can do from home and part-time, and it just that sounds like a really nice way to live.
Absolutely.
Tell
us, because I haven't even gotten to know you yet in terms of what, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, and what else you said.
So it's really mixed. So I danced, and I actually taught. I didn't actually go to the professional performing, but I was involved in a lot of theater. And so I taught dance for off and on 20 years, as well as clerical work. Because when you're in a small town, there's only so much work anywhere. So in order to keep involved with theater and dance, I did clerical work. So
nice.
And then I had my kids later, so they're in university now, and I've got a lot of time back to myself.
Perfect.
So I wanted to do something fun, and I could I could go out, and take other jobs, but this is just exciting, and it's just fun that
you're gonna do so well. So that clerical work is really going to help you. We never know what little jobs we have that are going to help us. And I think the dancing too. I mean, dancing it just really helps me be able to. That performance background is really useful. A performance background, I think, is useful.
Theater
it really is. It just for parents that don't want their kids to go in the arts, I always feel like performance background makes it so that you're comfortable in your own skin in some ways. You're able to talk to people in front of people. And it's just I'm so grateful for that skill that I'm comfortable doing this. It's like
creative outlet. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. So you're just going to crush it. I cannot wait to see what you're going to do. So the dancers are coming forward as well. Yeah. Yeah. So then someone's saying you need to read for AFF for sure. So for those of you that are new, we partner a lot with the Austin Film Festival. We absolutely adore them. They're fantastic. Did you come to that session? Were you in the
yes, with the two gals?
Yeah. So they came in and told us what they look for. So, and they also have their reader program that they do where they do full coverages and stuff. So you might reach out to them for that. And so we're also, and because you just graduated, we haven't even done this. Screenreader Squad, which is what we lovingly call this, is the Screenreader Squad. Anyone who's willing to come on camera and talk, we definitely, because we want to support our graduates. And so then we also have a directory that we call the pipeline, and we'll be putting you in that. And then I give that pipeline to people. It's on the website and that kind of thing. So we'll support you in like getting you out there. And that's true for Donna and Heather as well. They know that. I think they know that. These are new things that we've added. So so for anyone that's watching this, that if you graduated a while ago, we're doing that for you guys. So I'm so excited for you. I'm just so proud of you. And your coverages were great and super, I love that you weren't sure, but you just went back through. Just figured it out, And we try to lay the course out in a way that will be similar to a reading career, where there might be some things where you just have to figure out. And so we try to give you as many answers as we can, but we also need you to just do it like you did. So I love squad goals. People are like, whoop, whoop. So you're going to be so great. Do you know that so you want to kind of start with festivals and contests and that kind of thing?
Exactly.
And then kind of see where you lead?
Yeah, I just thought if I can get experience.
Yeah, it's a really great way to get your feet wet. And you'll also get your rhythms down. Keep writing some coverages in different genres. So the more samples you have, the better. So that if you decide you want to read for a certain company and they only do horror is always such a good example because it's such an obvious genre. But and you want to work for them, then you want to have a coverage sample that is in that genre. So it's like being able to match your sample to the person you want to read with. That's a level of detail that's not, it's not like you have to do that, but it's that level of detail that makes people notice you. And you're going to get noticed right out the gate, like you did with us. Like, it's like, you're going to be fantastic. I'm so excited.
Thank you.
It's so great to get to know you a little better. And we'll continue to talk. And then as you go, and you come to the sessions all the time too. So that's really great. And you come and you're engaged and you have your camera on and you're like, so that's how I know who you are, because you show up, the power of showing up. So if you have questions along the way and you realize, I started this, now I'm confused, just ask them in our weekly sessions. And I'm more than happy to talk about it, or everyone will benefit from anything you're going through. So,
and you guys always respond. And it's,
we try. We're small but mighty. There's only a few of us, but we try to respond as best as we can. Yeah, for sure. So I can't believe I'm going to bring these other beautiful ladies on. If you guys have any questions, does anyone have any questions for these lovely ladies? And let me bring us all together. Gals are together again. Yay. So is anyone have anything they want to add to anything that we've talked about as you guys have watched each other? And then if anyone in the chat has any questions, let us know. Yeah, I don't know why our names aren't showing. Usually they do.
Is there? Okay.
Go ahead, Luna. Yeah.
For social media platforms, like for me starting out, is Instagram and one other enough, or what put off LinkedIn until you have a lot of experience, or what do you do?
I think, and Heather can chime in on this too, is I think that you pick one, you start with one, and first just look around, see the one that feels the most natural to you and start there. So LinkedIn is great, in terms of business. LinkedIn is good. because there aren't a lot of people on LinkedIn, especially in this industry, in this field. There aren't a lot of readers that are out there promoting themselves in this way, actually. And then Clubhouse, no matter what platform you pick, I feel like Clubhouse is a really good secondary platform to have, because the thing that's great about Clubhouse for readers in particular is that there's a lot of producers on Clubhouse, and they're having these rooms where they're just talking. And so it's a really good place for you to raise your hand. I think you've done that in our Clubhouse sessions, if I remember right? Yeah.
I've been on,
Yeah. So you just raise your hand, or now they have the chat that they've added, which is awesome. And you ask a good question and you say, hey, I'm a reader. And you just kind of naturally say, I'm a reader and I'm wondering, blah, blah, blah. And you ask questions. I'm wondering, where do you find the scripts that you go, but by identifying yourself all the time, every time you ask a question as a reader, people will then look at your profile. They'll reach out to you. It's a really easy way. And it's not on camera, so it's a little bit easier. Yeah. So it's a really easy way to kind of get yourself out there. So Clubhouse is one, I think, not so much for promoting yourself, but for networking. It's a great one. Now, all the other ones to me are more about promoting yourself, learning how to network. You network there as well, but it's more about promoting yourself on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, any of those. And as much as people complain about Facebook, it still has billions of people on it. So I wouldn't throw out, baby with the bathwater kind of thing with Facebook. There's definitely things you could do for all of that.
And I think like finding out who your ideal person, what platforms are they on? The majority of the ideal kind of person that you want to help, like what platform are they on? Finding that out would be a good place to start.
Yeah, right. Really smart. So once you make those decisions, it's a really good place to start for sure. So Julie's asking, would you say a bit about pay rates of various kinds of reading, festivals, competitions, Coverfly, reading for producers and writers? I'm just having a so basically there's some festivals are volunteer only. But another thing that Austin does this, which I think is brilliant, they give you points as you read scripts, and then you get to a certain level, you get different things, like you can go a free ticket to the festival, and if you read enough, you can get a producer's badge, which is awesome, because then you've got this producer's badge and you can attend the festival on the same level of the producers that you're wanting to talk to and meet. So it can easily be something that springboards you into other things. Definitely worth, I think, the investment of reading for free. And then they do pay their readers that move on to other rounds. I don't know their pay rate. And then I know they have a coverage program where you can write coverage for them, and that's paid work as well. And the thing that I want to say about paid work now, I used to just have this sort of blanket thing of what people pay. It's all different now. In the last year, things have changed drastically in terms of what people pay and what people charge for things. It's a beautiful thing, I think, in that there's something that has happened where people have started to I think the pandemic sort of fed into people just saying, this is what I'm willing to do this for. It's gone are the days of I think there's been, the Great Resignation. There's been this sort of shift in people just being willing to do anything for anything. Now people are starting to go, this is what I charge, and this is what you need to pay me. And so it is kind of about, what you're willing, what kind of package you want to put together. $100 a screenplay is pretty common of being asked, when you're first starting out. And then it has to do with how much work you do and then who you're working for, of course. So it's like anything, the more experience you have, the more you can charge. You can do packages where you put, there's so many, this is a huge training. This would be a whole training in and of itself, but you can put packages together where if you work for a production company, you charge a certain amount per script, but if they have you do more than, so many per week, you give them a deal. You can do that kind of packaging. Or with a writer, you can do packaging where it's just a straight coverage that's just a couple of pages about the script. Or if they want page one notes, that's where you can get into charging hundreds of dollars, $400 or $500. If you're doing a page one note with someone, that's a lot of work. So you're, getting in there, but it has to do first before you can kind of know there's no pay rate per se in this industry. It's more project by project, company by company, person by person. And so you have to decide how much money do you need to make for your lifestyle that you want? And then what does that turn into? And that's some of the things that we cover in the course, and where we're really going to be double downing next year. We're going to double down really hardcore in that, because it's changed so much. We really want to guide everybody in creating your own packages, we have already done a couple of trainings on client getting mindset. What do you have to kind of let go of in order to work for people? What kind of clients do you want? Making sure, like we just talked about a bit ago with Donna, like that your clients are a good fit, making sure that we're not reading the sci-fi script if we I'm too stupid to understand it. No, that we're always that we're always reading, and that we value ourselves and we say, this is what I'm willing to work for. It's no longer, it's all different now. So
and a lot of the competitions are, they have their own budget. Mm-hmm. So that it can range anywhere from $17 a script all the way up to $60. It just depends on the festival or the competition.
Yeah, so it really varies. And then a lot of them will have perks versus money, kind of like what we just talked about with Austin. Yeah. But the reason to start with festivals is that it gets you to know yourself. When you start reading a lot of screenplays, so if you just work one season with the festival, you'll back me up, ladies, right? Like you'll know so much more after you do that first one, right? Because it's like, like what's something that you guys discovered when you were about your own reading and stuff when you started reading for festivals?
Oh, too many things to
right? Yeah,
things to report. Yeah. But that's how you learn, by doing it, and looking for answers through other people, or how someone else may have done it, and your peers, and but it's so fun. It's just the best.
It is really fun, and you'll start to realize where you get. I don't want to say stuck because that's a negative connotation, but where you in getting stuck, I mean by like some people are slow readers and they know it's going to take them a little while to read. Some people can race through the script and then they get stuck writing a coverage. Some people and here's where I see most people getting the most stuck. And this is they read the script, no problem. They write the coverage, they kind of learn how to get that down, and then they edit the coverage forever and ever and ever. And that's because that's where your own self-doubt comes in. And that's when you start judging yourself, it's not good enough. And that's when all the voices, that goes all haywire. And then suddenly 4 days have gone by. And that's what I see like the most skid marks with most people. It's like, so that's why I'm like, just don't edit, just write. Just writing, you can go back, like at first. And then pretty soon, the more you do it, the easier it gets. And you can just you'll know what to do. But that, definitely. And that's what you'll learn about yourself if you just do it. You'll start to see, I like reading these better. Or, I love, and you'll just start to know what kind of stories you like, what kind of scripts you like, what kind of people you like to work with. Do you like working in the reader world? Do you want to work in development? There's just so many ways you can go. It's so exciting. So this has been really great. I hope that's helpful, Julie, that asked the question. Thank you I love it when people ask questions. And people are acknowledging their worth nowadays, as Anae says. That it's just our mindset. I think after the pandemic, people were like, oh, wait, I don't have to go back to the soul-sucking job that I had forever. What? And so people just started to go like, no more. Nope. I'm not having it anymore. And I think the new generation, God love them, our kids, for those of us that have kids in university, right? They are not having it. They're just like, I am not making your $12 job. I'm not doing it. I'm just not going to do it. It's just like watching my son who's 23 negotiate he's gone, like his salary has tripled in the last 3 months. He's just like, the minute he gets paid one thing, he goes to the next guy and goes, well, I'm getting paid this over here and the next. And it's just like, look at you go. Like they have a different, I love them and I'm learning from them every day. And so it's made me go, I need to change this whole thing in the course, that it isn't about, please give me a job and what will you pay me? It's about, here's what I do and it's fantastic and you should pay me this. And I think that just shifting that really makes it so you can create the career you want. I really feel that, like, wholeheartedly. So it's really interesting. So what's the average number of scripts a day people read? So how many scripts do you guys read a day, do you think?
2 or 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't usually have those because I'm weird. Because I've read 11,000 screenplays. I've read over 11,000 screenplays, and I think it's partly because when I was reading like 30 scripts a week when I was reading for so many different places. So that, again, that's the other thing that you'll learn by reading in contests is how much do you want to read per day, per week, whatever it is. But I just loved it. I was just devoured it. I just love it. It's just so easy. Yeah. So make sure you check the updates in the course content every so often. Those of you that are sure I can see your name. Yeah. Is there a niche for helping books turn into screenplays? There should be. I don't, Doug Shaner, who is my partner in finding, discovering Hollywood gatekeepers. He actually, well, his is more biopics. I mean, he's so turning people, famous people that have a book, helping them turn it into a screenplay. That's kind of his thing that he does. Anybody has interest in that, reach out to Doug. But that's the thing is like, I love the way you're thinking, Sabrina. So once you have an understanding of this, that is definitely, even if there is people doing that, there's still more people that need to help with it. Like there's so many people, there's millions, there's like 30 million people on Facebook that have screenwriting as an interest. So there's plenty, how many people do you need to set your career up as a reader? Not that, 10? Like not that many in comparison to how many people are out there. So there's plenty of room for everyone. So whatever niche you think of, even if someone's already doing it, you're going to do it a little bit differently. But helping books turn into screenplays would be a really good one for sure. And then if anyone speaks a second language, that's another big one, especially as production companies now are looking for more and more diverse projects. I mean, everything's changing so beautifully, and it's creating so much more work for us as more companies and more diversity and more people. And it's just, so we're in such an exciting time right now. It really is. Adaptations are really fun. So how many scripts do festivals need you to read? You guys both still read for Coverfly, or are you not reading for them anymore?
Not so much anymore, but you just take what you can do. They're really flexible.
Like that, right? Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about it. You say, I'm going to read this many and I'm going to charge this much.
Yeah.
I mean, what other career is like that? It's so fantastic, right? This is my thing and this is what I'm doing. And there we go. Yeah, for sure. So it really depends, every place I've ever worked has been what kind of workload can you handle? Or do you want really? And then what genres do you like? They do ask you that. They want to give you things that you like because they really do. I know it seems counterintuitive for some reason, but they want the projects to go through. I know it's called Hollywood gatekeepers, but they are looking. They really do want good stories. There's everybody always says, they're trying to, shut the gate. But they really do want good stories. So they do ask you, what genres do you like? They do ask you, how much reading do you want to do? They don't want to overwork you. They want, they try not to overwork you. Sometimes they just can't help it because there's so much to do. But yeah. So it looks like I'm not seeing any other questions, but you guys have asked some good questions today. This has been really fun. You ladies are so wicked smart and super talented. And I cannot wait to see what you do with all of it. I'm so proud of you. So we'll see you in Screenreader sessions. And for those of you that are interested in learning more about how to become a reader, we do have a masterclass. Let me throw that up real quick, where you can take the masterclass, and then yours truly will guide you through what actually all these questions are. And we're actually going to be doing them live soon. So just keep an eye out for that, where I'm going to be there live so I can answer all of your questions. So if you do want to take that masterclass, you can. Right now it's on demand, but it will be live soon as well. So good. I'm glad it was helpful, and welcome to all of you people that just jumped in today and are now watching. I love it. And we did this last month as well. So definitely take a look for that. And thank you again, ladies. So you're so smart and so talented, and I can't wait to see. Congrats to all of you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so much fun. So I'm going to pop over to Instagram in about an hour. You're welcome to join me over there if you want. Anyone that's watching this, and we're going to talk again, and I'm going to cover some more. So I don't know can you guys see the chat? Can you see it? Yeah, can you see the comments? Oh, you can. Okay, good.
Some of it.
So yeah, so there are people thanking you. Thanks, Heather, Lenore, and Donna. Thank you for posting the free masterclass.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Yeah. Thanks, you guys. So much fun. And we will talk to you guys soon.